Like a lot of Americans, you know, grilling has been part of my life almost since birth. I think it's just part of our national culture. But I didn't really get into it seriously until I was probably in my late 30s. One thing led to another. I took a job at a winery where I had a very small kitchen. I had to cook for a lot of people, and so the solution was to cook outside. Literally in the vineyards. And skills just grew, interest got deeper and deeper. And then Weber called me one day and said, we'd like some help with some cookbooks. And I said, absolutely.
For me, it was really, it was an epiphany. And it came out of left field. At the time, I was writing a series of books on low-fat cooking because I had developed a cholesterol problem as a restaurant critic. One day, I remember where I was sitting, what I was wearing, what the weather was like. It was the spookiest feeling. Time slowed down. And it was like hearing this voice from heaven. And the voice said, follow the fire. And the idea was that I should travel around the world and study how people grill and barbecue in different countries. And I was hooked ever since.
Yeah.
I love to do it. To me, it's the best way to cook anything because it brings out the maximum flavor. It's fun. I mean, we're guys, right? We love to play with fire, set stuff on fire. But if you think about it, the storyline with grilling, I mean, it was the first act of cooking, was grilling something over live fire. When I was sautéing or baking a cake, nobody ever brought me a beer, but darn, when you're around a grill, you know, you get brought beers all the time.
So Stephen, we're here in this gorgeous spot. Why are we here? What are you doing?
Well, this is Barbecue University. It's a school I created where people could come to learn actually the theory and practice of barbecuing and grilling. And it's also at an extremely luxurious, gorgeous resort called the Broadmoor, so that my wife would want to come here too. And it's a cooking, it's a vacation for adults who love to cook.
And I know this isn't the only thing you're doing these days. You're working on what, a new book?
I'm working on a new book called Planet Barbecue. It's the story of my travels around the world's barbecue trail. Just finished a new TV show called Primal Grill, which is taped in Arizona. And actually just finished another TV show in French that's called Le Maître du Grill, the Master of the Grill, which airs in Quebec. I got my start as a French lit major and finally 30 years later figured out how to make it pay off. So Jamie, what are you working on now?
Well, I'm bouncing all over North America doing demonstrations and media appearances related to my new book, Weber's Way to Grill.
Okay, and how's the book different than the other books?
Well, this is by far the most technique-driven book. I find that that's what people really want. Of course, they always want great recipes, but what I thought would be even more special was to drill down into the details, the kind of things that really only chefs use on a regular basis. Kind of the food science issues and the technique stuff. And so the book has 160 recipes, and each recipe has 4 or 5 photos that really show what are the most important steps in this recipe, and where could you potentially go wrong, and how to fix things, and most importantly, how to do things just right. So I'm very proud of the book. It's selling really well, and people love it, so I'm out there just spreading the word.
Excellent.